Hey everyone, it's Matt, and today I'll be taking you on a tour of Knott's Scary Farm, the oldest theme park Halloween event in the world. And as you can see, they are currently celebrating their 50th anniversary. So let's take a walk around the park and maybe do a few mazes while I give you some softly spoken commentary. And don't worry about being too scared. I'll keep the volume down, so hopefully the jump scares won't be too scary. So we are starting off here in Ghost Town, and if you're not familiar with Knott's Berry Farm or Scary Farm, Ghost Town is one of the oldest parts of the park, meant to be a recreation of an Old West Calico ghost town. And so there's a bunch of old buildings and thematic scenery and lots of just interesting decor around. But during Scary Farm, it's got some very ominous lighting and fog everywhere, and of course lots and lots of monsters lurking around, waiting to jump out and scare you. Like that guy, who just made some sparks along the ground with his feet. The monsters have many ways of scaring you at Knott's Scary Farm. They can slide along the ground and make tons of noise with various noise makers, and they're generally just a lot of fun to interact with. And so let's walk on through here, through Ghost Town, and just take in the sights. There's a monster lurking around, and you can see the blacksmith place over there. I believe during the day you can watch real blacksmithing, but not during Scary Farm, because apparently blacksmiths are not scary enough. I like this guy's top hat. Very classy for someone trying to scare people half to death. And as you can see, there's tons and tons and tons of fog. It can often be kind of difficult to see where you're going if you're not careful. But it means the monsters have many very good hiding places. Makes it very fun to walk on through and see where they pop out of, trying to scare you. So, there's another guy here. And how about this old windmill covered in cobwebs, or what's supposed to look a little bit like giant cobwebs, though I'm not sure they're really fooling anyone. But that's part of the charm. There are certain things at Knott's Scary Farm that are more tradition than anything, and that giant sort of cobweb material fits that description. I've been going to Knott's Scary Farm throughout much of my life. I really enjoy it, and so it's been fun to see how it changes and sometimes stays very much the same over the years. It's a great event, in my opinion. And so, how about we take a look at the first maze we'll take a look at here, and that is Origins, the Curse of Calico. There are 10 mazes at Knott's Scary Farm, and this one, Origins, is meant to be a sort of backstory to why the Calico ghost town is overrun with monsters. It is about a green witch, Sarah Marshall, who narrowly avoided being prosecuted and hung, only to curse the town and unleash evil upon it. So let's go inside. So here we go, into a courtroom here where the judge is not looking very happy. He's looking for the witch. Does anyone know where the witch is? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's too late. But here is a sort of prison, little jail cell. This guy's trying to break out, but I think we're safe for now. And how about a bank vault? Let's break into the bank vault. I think that might be Sarah Marshall. In the bank vault, we have a bunch of gold. Not going to take any of that because it's not ours. But now we're walking into an old classroom based on an old schoolhouse that's in the ghost town in the theme park. It's a bit dark here, as is the case with some mazes, but we'll keep on walking through, and now we are in, I believe to be a chapel of some sort during a wedding. Though I don't know if anyone's really getting married here anymore. It's a bit, overrun by evil. Now going back outside, we see that guy kind of transforming into a monster through the window. Let's stay away from him and walk on into this house here. What's going on in this house? Got a nice fireplace, but over here, kind of a creepy, I don't know if that's a mother or something else. Let's go back outside where we have some witches hung from a tree, or supposed witches. I don't think they got the right woman though. And some floating, glowing objects. And now it looks like this building is burning down. We should probably get out of here before it gets worse. Or maybe it's already burned down and these are just the embers, alongside some floating pumpkins. What do we have through here? We have this hallway that is squeezing in on both sides, very claustrophobic. But we're going to walk on through. And now we are, well, not quite sure where we are, but there are tons of bones. Usually not a good sign when you see lots of human remains. And over here we got some more human remains. Like I said, never a good sign. And if we look, there's a monster over there hiding. And now we see the witch transforming into her witchy self through these portraits. A very spooky witch. Now we have even more human remains. Looks like we're maybe in some sort of crypt or cemetery area. But let's get on out of here, past the hanging bodies, and hopefully to safety. Alright, so now it seems we've found the witch. Lots of green fog and the witch ominously floating above us, cursing us all. Seems we might be doomed for eternity. But let's just get away from the witch. And through this glowing hallway, oh dear, a giant witch hand is reaching out to get us. Let's run away from the witch hand. And into the green light. So it sounds like she thinks we'll never escape as we're walking out. But that was Origins, the Curse of Calico. Seemed a little bit light on scare actors that time, but occasionally that'll happen if some of them are on break. Over here we have the line for the Grimoire, which we'll be skipping for this video. But the Grimoire is a maze about, I guess, a group of teenagers who discover a old creepy book. They read from it in front of a campfire and, well, bad things happen. I don't completely understand the story of it, but it has something to do with unleashing, I guess, tormented souls or merging our dimension with another cursed one of some sort. But it's got some good set pieces and scare actors, so I like that one. To our right, though, is the Pony Express roller coaster, which you ride kind of like a horse. You get on it a bit like a sort of motorcycle stance, and it launches you, and you ride it around like a horse galloping through the air. And over here we have the River Rapids ride. A very fun way to get very wet. Doesn't look like there's anyone on it right now, but maybe that's because they don't want to get wet at night in the cold. I have done that before though. It's a fun time, but maybe not the most comfortable thing to do. So let's keep on walking. I like the giant projected spider web on the ground. As you can see, there's not many monsters over in this corner. It's kind of a safe area. But if we keep walking here, we will come upon a memory lane and the beginning of the next scare zone, the Gore-ing 20s. Sort of a take on the Roaring 20s. A scare zone full of 1920s themed stuff. Prohibition era, where alcohol was made illegal, but lots of, as I was saying, sketchy characters roaming around, dealing with illicit substances and generally causing mayhem. This is also by the Walter Knott Theater, where one of the major shows is happening. And this is a fun area. The characters have a lot of personality, as you can see. This guy's just walking by, looking at us ominously. It's a bit brighter over here, but that's alright. We have the Knott's Berry Tales in the background, but what do we have here? We have a big old group of people, including some monsters, doing a sort of zombie stroll or a dance of some sort to the music. Let's take a look at them. This looks like fun. I probably should have gotten in on this for the video and just put my arm out in front of the camera so you could see what it's like, but I think you can imagine what that would look like. They do have a lot of fun over here in the Gore-ing 20s. I like the big old gift shop sign, very bright. Though bright is not quite what you want during a Halloween event. And here they come. And now they're turning around, going the other way, since they've run out of room. So, let's keep on walking. Seems we have this lady. Oh, almost took her head right off with that bat. But that's alright, because it didn't happen. We're still standing. Over there is the stage for a show with lots of stunts and various tricks. And a fountain that has been decorated with pumpkins. And of course, the horror staple, Johnny Rockets. But next, we have the CarnEvil scare zone in the boardwalk area. And this is where lots and lots of evil clowns are. Though in my experience they're less evil and more kind of funny, scary. They have a ton of personality and can be a lot of fun to interact with. We also have over here the Hang Time roller coaster, which has a drop steeper than 90 degrees. That one's a lot of fun. It has a vertical lift hill, kind of scary going straight up. Let's walk on through CarnEvil and see what the clowns are up to. That guy's following that other guy. He's being joined by the other clown. Alright. I want to ride Hang Time right now, but I'm busy recording an ASMR video. Oh well. This guy looks like a teddy bear. I'm not sure what he was trying to imply there, but maybe he wanted a hug. There's the big drop on Hang Time. And here's another clown. So, here we go. I almost made a joke about the security guard being scary, but I couldn't do it. I can't make fun of security guards. They're just doing their job. Alright. Over there in the background is the accelerator roller coaster, which is unfortunately not open, but it launches you 0 to 82 in about 2 seconds. A very fun ride. On the left is the coaster's drive-in, and there's the Supreme Scream drop ride, and the Sky Cabin observation tower, as well as more of hang time. Look at it go. But we're here for the clowns, and there's another one. He's not coming my way though. Another look at the coaster's drive-in. And as we walk towards Accelerator over here, got a couple more clowns. And over here, let's see, we've got, if you look over here, you might notice this clown is famous on TikTok. They go by the name Bobbins, and they had some TikToks blow up last year, I believe, and so they're very well known among a certain part of the internet. The person in that video was actually asking them for a picture, but Bobbins replied that she is not allowed to, unfortunately, probably because she gets asked for too many pictures at this point, and she needs to be able to do her job, but it was still fun to see her. And that clown is just kind of grooving. But next up, let's go to another maze. Mesmer, Sideshow of the Mind. And I think this one is somewhat fitting for an ASMR video, as throughout it has the whispers of the main character playing over the speakers, though they are more ominous whispers than relaxing ones. This is meant to be a sort of carnival hypnotist tent sideshow thing. I'm not entirely sure.
Hello, welcome to Mesmer. Please enjoy what time you have left, which isn't very much.
Oh boy. But yes, this is something about a hypnotist hypnotizing you to your doom, or something like that. It's a bit surreal and vague, but let's take a walk on through. Got these monitors playing some eerie, ominous stuff. Got the infinite clock on that screen. Lots of eyes. And a sort of tattoo room. I'm not sure if this is playing on a fear of tattoos or an old-timey sort of fear of tattoos as a thing sort of thing. But now we're coming into a different area, one that's a bit more about the ticking clock of life or death, about every second ticking by closer to your inevitable end. And at the end of the hallway, this grandfather clock with the Grim Reaper himself behind it. We have a sort of human violin here. It's hard to see, but she is playing her arm like a violin, or should I say her arm bone, which is exposed. And now for this trippy hallway with a clown of some sort on the ground. I'm not sure what she wants from me, but maybe something small. And next up is the snake room, I think. We have this little snake, and now this big animatronic snake man, and some blasts of air. Into the dark we go. And at the end of this dark hallway, we have a dingy room with some floating people, light as a feather. Apparently gravity doesn't exist anymore for these people. But maybe not the carousel horse. Again, time is ticking away. Tick, tick, tick. Though this may be more of a hypnotism aid than anything else. And much like the metronome, this room is swinging back and forth. Kind of a trippy effect. And now, what's going on here? We got this guy. More of a circus tent vibe. But if you look down, walking along a tightrope. Not the most convincing effect, but fun to try and walk on it. Lots and lots of dots in a black room. What could the dots be hiding? That guy, who I suspect might be tired of people taking photos of them with flash, might be why they put their hand up there, but no flash from me, thankfully. Now we have this room with lots of images, screens. There I am. Kind of a trippy, not quite mirror room. They're kind of mirrors, but they're also screens. One of them is spinning in the center of the room. Kind of hard to see, but it's trippy. A little hard to see in here. I do not see the red door to my right. I only see darkness. But I'll keep an eye out for the red door. Seems we're in the room of the flesh eater. And now lots of strobe lights. Once in this room, we've got none other than Mr. Zoetrope, a giant animatronic. Very spooky. And there's a little Mr. Zoetrope. That one tried to scare me. Now it seems we're entering the red room, which is ominous in some way, though I'm not sure what. Is it representative of hell, perhaps? Hard to say. But that guy went after the guy behind me. And that is about it for Mesmer, Sideshow of the Mind. So let's keep on walking. On the right is the backside of the log ride, which is themed for Halloween, though it does not have anything particularly scary on it. They used to decorate the log ride with actors and scary stuff before, but not much anymore. Over there is another maze, Cinema Slasher, which is a very cool maze where you walk into a movie screen and go through a series of fictional slasher movies based on old Knott's Scary Farm mazes. Here's Supreme Scream, a 250-ish foot drop tower ride, very thrilling, with a very good view of the surrounding area as well, as you can imagine. And ahead is the Fiesta Village section of the park, which does not have anything scary this year, but it was recently remodeled with some new architecture and decor, which is kind of nice. You won't really be able to tell the difference if you're not familiar with how it looked before, though. And most of the rides are pretty much the same anyway. But still a neat little tidbit. On the left is the swing ride, which is a lot of fun. I remember enjoying that a lot as a kid, flying around in circles on a classic old-school swing ride. I like the lighting on it, especially at night. though it's not like you can see the lighting during the day much, so that's a given. And on the right, we have the Jaguar roller coaster, a sort of family ride that goes around much of the park, kind of high up, and has a sort of temple-themed queue and station. Very, very fun ride I liked a lot as a kid, and it's still pretty fun to this day, even if it's not the most thrilling ride. But up ahead, past Fiesta Village, is Camp Snoopy, the scariest place on Earth. Oh no, I'm sorry, Camp Snoopy is during the day. During the night, it is called the Gauntlet, and none of the Camp Snoopy rides are open, predictably, as Knott Scary Farm is not aimed at children. But the Camp Snoopy area is still home to a very good scare zone with lots of creepy actors and lighting and fog, and it is themed to a sort of medieval time sort of thing, I guess. It's got, kings and queens and jesters and executioners, those sort of characters. And I like how dark it can get, especially with the trees overhead. It's a very woodsy sort of area. On the left is a chair or a throne of some sort that people are taking photos on. Though I'm not sure they're technically supposed to be doing that, or if it's supposed to be for the actors. I don't know. Hard to say, I didn't get up close. But here is a fun fact. The last time I walked through this scare zone, one of the monsters recognized me from YouTube. It wasn't that guy, but one of them did recognize me. And it was very surreal having a monster come up to me and say, not that, but give me some of that sweet ASMR, is what he said. And I was so taken off guard that I couldn't help but laugh very hard at just the absurdity of the situation before doing my Joker voice for him for just a moment. You want to know how I got these scars? And he was satisfied and went on his way, but that was the most memorable instance of being recognized from YouTube. So as we walk through here, let's keep an eye out and see if maybe we'll run into that monster again, if he'll get to be in one of my ASMR videos. We have a nice waterfall area here, part of the Camp Snoopy play area. But as we keep on walking here, lots of nice foresty, woodsy decor, and by that I mean trees, lots of nice trees. Always love a good tree. And of course, lots of actors running around trying to scare you. And, having recorded this video already, I have a feeling that a certain monster is coming up on the left here.
Give me some of that ASMR.
You're in the video right now.
Give me some of that ASMR right here.
Why don't you try it?
Hello, YouTube.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Good night.
And there he is, the monster who recognized me last time. It was very fun to run into him again, and he did a fantastic job doing some ASMR. Thank you very much for your contribution to the video. So let's keep on walking here. To our right is Sierra Sidewinder, which is a kind of step above a kiddie coaster, but it spins 360 degrees randomly as you go around the ride, kind of like teacups on a roller coaster. It's a very dizzying ride, but very fun. And now let's take a look at another maze. This maze will finish off the video, and it is called the Chilling Chambers. The name is a tribute to the first Knott Scary Farm ever made, or Knott Scary Farm maze ever made, the 10 Chilling Chambers. and it is a tribute to the 50th anniversary of Knott's Scary Farm. It is a sort of mashup maze where every few rooms is a new theme based on several of the most popular mazes and themes over the event's history. So some of this might be lost on people not familiar with the history of the event, but for those of you who are big fans, it's a very, very cool maze to see lots of stuff brought back from the past. So the first section here is a tribute to the Asylum, a very popular old maze that was popular in the mid and late 2000s, sort of a mental hospital where the patients have taken over and are very, very aggressive, as you can see. This is one of the scarier mazes from that time period, in my opinion, and one of the most beloved, so it's cool to see it come back. This maze is a sort of time machine for those who have been there in the past. Here's a room with a bunch of the beds and bunks for the patients. You can't really see much right here. But next, we have a transition to the next theme, filled with masks from past mazes. Lots of little Easter eggs crammed in this maze for fans. And through the keyhole we find the next theme, a tribute to an older maze called The Underground, along with various other post-apocalyptic themed mazes from throughout the years. The Underground was from before my time going to the park, but it's pretty cool to see nonetheless. A very chaotic vibe here. Lots of aggressive, angry people with weapons and, general post-apocalypse stuff. Into the Chupacabra, which is a bar or a club of some sort. Very colorful lighting for the dancer here. And so, let's keep on walking through. Here's another, I guess a patron or maybe an employee of the club. And now a sort of a mirror room with lots and lots of colors and mirrors. Not quite a mirror maze though, and there I am again. Next up is the Carnival of Carnivorous Clowns, or really a section that pays tribute to the many, many clown mazes that have been at Knott's Scary Farm throughout the years. But first, I'll walk through some caskets. And now we're at the clowns. Hello, clown. I'm gonna walk through in the mouth of a giant clown head and into a room covered in stuffed animals. I like this giant stuffed bunny rabbit walking around. And here's a gorilla. And now some more clowns clowning around, as you might expect. And a clown with a very tiny skull. Oh dear. Seems we're in a room of elephant butts. The elephants are farting on us. Smells like elephant poop in here. And that clown, well, I'm not sure what he's doing, but it had something to do with my head. But let's walk on through, far away from the elephant butts, and into a sort of vampire room. Lots of vampire representation over the years at Knott's. Very spooky vampires. But next up is a tribute to one of my favorite mazes in Knott's Scary Farm history, the Doll Factory. A sort of abandoned toy factory where a serial killer has been taking women and turning them into dolls, life-size dolls. It's very kind of creepy and industrial, kind of mixing, I guess, graphic industrial violence with kind of childish toys and childhood innocence. Always creepy to have creepy dolls around. Lots of deformed toys along the shelves. And this guy jumping out of the hallway there. And now a giant spider baby robot. Definitely inspired by that one toy in Sid's room in Toy Story. And now we're walking off the production line and into the dollhouse. We have this doll walking and moving around here, just like a doll would. Kind of marionette-ish. A creepy, dirty, disgusting doll there. And this one walking around. Some creepy dolls in the window, looking in from outside. And now, looks like the corpses are breaking out. As we walk into a forest full of tombstones commemorating mazes of the past. Lots of logos and, general nostalgia. And there you have it, the 50th anniversary maze for Knott's Scary Farm. And with that, I'm going to bring this video to an end. I hope you enjoyed taking a walk around Knott's. There's much more here that I didn't show in the video, and I think it's a fantastic time for Halloween, so if you live anywhere near Knott's Scary Farm, I'd recommend it for sure. Though, I would recommend going on a weekday if you can, because it can get very crowded on the weekends. One of my favorite things to do around Halloween, and I hope you enjoyed watching me walk around for a bit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.